Okay, everyone. Namaste, everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Can you play a game? Shall we play a game? You have to play like children, okay? Just innocently. Because if you make it complex, then it will become complex. Like, what is an orange? What is an orange? Fruit. And an orange.
An orange.
Or, sorry, how do you say?
I thought you said knowledge.
No. It's just the accents. The accents are like that. Orange. How you say in America?
That's correct.
No, you say it.
Well, it's orange.
Orange.
Yes.
In California. So, okay, come back to the game. What is an orange?
Juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit. It's a fruit.
Color.
Orange color.
Orange color.
Round.
Round.
Sour.
Sour.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Acidic.
Acidic.
Full of vitamins.
So, just innocently see if you can observe the space where these answers come from. So, this is what we, if you want to call it something, for now we'll call it the mind. Okay? This space where there is some storehouse of knowledge, and from there a concept about it can come. So, this is, let's call it for now, let's call it the mind. Now, what is 2 oranges plus 2 oranges?
4 oranges.
Okay, so 4 is the answer. So 4 comes from, let's call this space where this answer, and you can stay with this for a bit, is what we call reasoning or intellect. This ability to apply a principle, apply some sense of reasoning, and therefore a resultant answer comes. So let's, for now, we just call this the intellect. Now, go to that space where you can visualize an orange becoming larger and larger and larger, so that it's as big as the world. So let's call this space the space of imagination. So we saw that there's a conceptual storehouse of information. It says orange is a juicy fruit, it is good, it is bad, it is round, it is whatever. That is the mind. When we asked what is 2 oranges plus another 2 oranges, the answer came 4. You see? Now some of you visualized 2 oranges and 2 oranges, so you used your imagination and counted the result, and some of you just knew intellectually that 2 plus 2 is 4. So this is using the reasoning intellect. Then we saw that there's another power or space, whatever you call it, within consciousness, which is imagination. So you can imagine something in this way. Now, without visualizing as much as possible, but don't struggle with it. If visuals are coming, it's fine. Find that space where 2 oranges plus 2 oranges are no oranges and are 4 oranges. All the other layers will start complaining, and let them complain. You see? The mind will say this is nonsense, everything else will complain. But to see if you can find that place where 2 oranges plus 2 oranges are no oranges and there are 4 oranges. That space where no orange, 1 orange, 2 oranges, 4, 6, 10, 1,000, it makes no difference. They are all as true or untrue as answers. So now you can answer. How is it that you can add 2 oranges to 2 oranges and make no oranges? Can you? Huh? What I'm saying to the mind is completely absurd, and that is fine, because that's why I said you have to be like little children. Okay? Say what you were saying, my dear.
No, there was no oranges at all in the first place.
There was no oranges, but now there were 2 and 2, and they made none. How to do it? See? The mind has no notion like this, so can't go there. Your intellect This is against all the reasoning that you have, so can't go there. Imagination is also not used to this, but imagination can conjure up some sort of visualization like that, but don't go there also. Is there something else in you where this is not a contradiction?
Seeming.
Yeah?
Seeming.
Seeming?
Yeah. There can be a moment where they both seem.
Say a little louder, my dear.
Seemingly.
It seems as if,
Well,
seemingly.
seemingly
Yeah.
in a moment
Yes.
of recognition, those two seem to need to be together.
Yes.
Like it came to me, something I read this morning. Ego doesn't know anything. Knowledge is being. Right?
It's okay. It's okay. He says ego, he read something this morning, he said
The
ego doesn't know anything.
Ego doesn't know anything.
Knowledge is being.
Knowledge is being something that that's the ego.
Something?
That's the ego doesn't really have any being.
Ego doesn't have any being, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's an imagined.
It's just an imagined construct.
Yeah. So in that place, yeah, you can't really conceive of four oranges.
Yeah.
But you're saying something is saying it, so then the imagination is there for
Yeah.
it to be there.
Yeah. Now I'm saying that we add two oranges to two oranges, and somewhere it is as true that there are no oranges as there are four. Did I come back for this? Special surprises for you.
Thank you.
You can't give it to your intellect because you will not be able to solve it intellectually. Your mind will just resist this kind of thing. Or even if it is saying, oh, this is very good, it's really nice, you see, it is just another form of distraction. Where is that where both answers are as true or as false? You can feel a bit stuck. Because on one side I am asking you to contemplate something like this, you see. So there's a sense that there must be something to it, you see. And from the other side, everything from your mind can say, what? Is he losing his marbles? Oh. So then you're a bit stuck. But there is something, it's not a thing, I'm going to say something somewhere, but it is not in time and space. Where both 4 oranges and no oranges are true. Or at least equally true or false. You can't figure it out. You can't visualize it. And you have no knowledge that confirms this. Where will you go? Where to look?
I don't know if you could help me
Yeah.
look. Just in the sense that there feels to be something. I know conceptually there is on some level, but there feels in the moment to be something there with the sense of, so when I think orange, I think what an orange means to me.
No, that's not the direction.
That's not the
That's
direction.
not the direction. It's very innocent, like oranges, like what the fruit that you eat.
But so the letting go of my my naming of the orange,
Yes.
my labeling of the orange is
Mhm.
how it can affect me.
Okay.
And in that dropping,
Okay.
what's counting the oranges, you know?
Okay.
What-
So that which counts, that which labels orange, that which counts the orange, both are kept aside. Then, this is good. This is good.
I can't totally keep it aside in this
Okay.
moment,
It's
so
okay.
just that's
It's
why
okay.
I
Just
brought it
like
up.
we are not.
Yeah.
Maybe don't keep it aside, but don't give it so
Yeah.
much value.
Yeah,
or
there's a
something.
loosening, and then in that
Yeah.
space, there's
Yeah.
there's a feeling of
When
the
I was saying,
possibility of no orange.
when I was saying initially that is not the direction I was feeling like, because you said what it means to me in the sense of what memories do I have about oranges, not this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying now, which is good. You're saying you have the label orange, which comes from the mind. You have these visuals, these ideas. You have also ideas of what it means to add or remove. Is it?
Yeah, that's more central actually.
Yeah, very central.
Yeah.
Like what does it mean to add or remove? That what from where are these ideas? You see?
And what is it, that space that can even, where is that space that can imagine
Yes.
this? No.
Yes. So this example, as simple as it might sound, confronts very, very fundamental ideas and fundamental, even what we consider truths.
The need to conclude.
The need to conclude. Yes. The need to conclude with like a truth, you see, with something which is like valid. But I'm inviting you to find that space in which you can add 2 oranges to 2 oranges, and there are no oranges is as true as there are 4, or there are 10, or there are 1,000, or anything. Or see, I don't want to give too many examples like this because it will become just imagination that we just visualize.
But Father, how doing, like, if I do it, then I'm concluding it just by me
If
trying
you
to add
do
it.
you elaborate a bit. If you do what?
Like if I add 2 plus 2,
Yeah.
or you're saying it should lead to something, but just in the doing of this addition is the concluding of it, right?
No, that's what you have to say. That now the hypothesis has changed. You have been invited to look for that space or something within you in which you add 2 oranges to 2 oranges, and It could be as much no oranges or 4 or many.
So what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that in this question, to do this, what
Yeah.
you're saying,
Yeah.
is in itself like
Yeah, but you're supposed to
going somewhere.
find this, recognize this, and not accept it. You see? Like if you just accept it, like okay, he's saying so, it must be true. That's how religions are formed. You see, somebody, a prophet is saying something, a messiah is saying something, an avatar is saying something, and because they're saying something, then it is just taken. Now, I'm not saying that this is true. I'm inviting you to find that in which 0 oranges and 4 oranges are as true.
So,
Yeah.
in other words, like, in a way, only the person can do this kind. From the presence point of view,
Whoever
I
can do
can't.
it, you don't bother with that. Just more innocently. You see? Don't get into the other inquiry now, which is like who is doing it. You see, I'm just saying. Like you suppose you never heard of self-inquiry. You never heard of these terms person, ego, self. Nothing. All of this is irrelevant. Just how you add 2 oranges to 2 oranges and make no orange. Doesn't matter what you consider yourself to be here. Doesn't matter any of the self-inquiry. Doesn't matter here. Nothing. It is just this question.
Father, the field in which this is done, for that it doesn't matter. I mean, what comes in the appearance.
Like if you add up 300 with 600, it's 900. But for that, to the intellectual seeming field, it doesn't matter the answer 900. Is that what your answer is?
No, the I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
The space or the knowing in which this is happening.
Yes, but can it happen firstly? You add 2 oranges to 2 and they lead to 0.
Why couldn't it happen?
This is good. Why couldn't it happen? You say.
Why couldn't it happen?
You say why couldn't it happen?
I mean, it's up to me it's up to me in the sense this me.
Yeah. Whatever the me is, it's okay. Just for today.
No, why not? I don't know. Why can't it happen that way then?
Then why was the answer 4 when I asked 2 plus 2?
No, that I'm referring to some concepts,
Yeah,
right?
okay, very good.
So if I don't have the concept, if I was taught that 2 plus 2 is 0,
Yeah.
it is equally welcome there, right?
But isn't it completely contrary to your experience? You add 2 oranges to 2.
No, because then for that I have to refer to a concept to prove that.
Okay.
So before picking up the thought or the concept, it is equally true.
It's not bad.
It's like
It's almost like, as you said, it's almost like we have an idea of what's two and what's plus. Like we have so many ideas of what we know.
What is also possible and not possible. What it should be.
Yeah, what is two, what is orange, like now when I speak, I was like, oh, an orange is a thing, but I didn't even know if an orange is like.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's all really nothing. Like now that I speak, I just see
Yeah.
it like it's just. It's all dissolving into the same. Like everything is just. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
conceptually, yes, we know two is two.
Yes. But now are we applying a super concept like same or one?
Not one, but it's all. It's not even like it's just. It's the same, or is the one, but the one is not the two.
Okay, so another example is coming up. I climbed 4 flights of stairs. To come down 30 feet from where I was. How did I do that? And 4 flights of stairs. And I came down 30 feet from where I was originally.
Totally possible.
Isn't it stupid?
It feels constant.
That one I'm having images of someone
If I
tricking
have
me with
no
some...
knowledge of
Yeah.
stairs or anything,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So let's go back to that.
Oh, I see what you said.
Let's go back to that Zen koan, where there's a goose who was stuck in a vase.
No, not this one. No, okay, it makes sense now.
There's this goose which is stuck in the vase. You see? Now, because of course everyone cares for it, so they feed it from the top. But it is too big to come out. But the more it is being fed, the bigger it is getting. And if it gets any bigger, it will die because it will be squeezed. You see? If it is not fed, it will die. And the vase is priceless, cannot be broken. You see? So, how would you bring the goose out? The top of the vase is too small. Can't pull it out. So your job is to take this one out. How you do it? First you can think about why it is not possible. What are those things which make it not possible?
I can say I take the goose out of the vase.
Yeah. I accept the answer.
The impossibility is in the thought.
The impossibility is in the thought. Now when you say I take it out, that's it. Now what happened to the impossibility?
There is no impossibility.
There is no impossibility. So is there now a possibility?
Sorry?
Is there now, did the impossibility get replaced with possibility?
There is no possibility, no impossibility.
She said there is no possibility, there is no impossibility. I'm also going to read a little from chat. Another bouncer, Ananta-ji. Aha, so good. I just have to leave all the concepts aside. But see, not even that. In the sense, because that is also a concept. See, something more, it has to be more primal. It's just like something. Like not like, I see now what I have to do. I have to leave the concept aside. You see? Then future, past, time, all that can come in. But just something more. Like that. Not even this. This is just an expression.
Father,
See?
sorry, I just felt the contraction
Yeah.
of the koan, of the
Yeah.
I felt that everything was in that thought.
Yes. Exactly. All that contracts you is within that thought. Within the limitation that a thought places on us.
I was playing the role of
Yes.
the one who tries to resolve the problem.
Yes. So we give it to our intellect. That's why we
Yes.
looked at it and said, how this, so if I do this, then how do I do that? You see? Yeah, so it cannot be solved. People have tried to solve it for thousands of years, not succeeded. Same koan. You see, not in that way.
Yes.
So you can't solve it like that.
And it's very freeing because even
Yes.
that leads to a place where
Yes.
I can hear myself
Yes.
saying I, as the seeker, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
chat is that either the mind is protesting, saying, what about any new in Sangha? This is too advanced. They should go read the early books of yoga. Yes, we must have compassion for those. We must not feel that we must not have any conclusion like this, but we must have compassion for anyone who's new to Satsang Sangha, but they must also speak up and say, but what is going on? You see what's happening? And I'm okay to share in any way, just like whatever words come up here, they come up here. So this is very beautiful expression of compassion for those who might be new here. And Sam, my dear, thank you. So loving always. So now the same thing. I climbed up 4 flights of stairs and I came down 30 feet from where I was. This morning.
Can I just say
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
Can I say that? That seems to help the juices from
Yes, yes.
There's a scene sometimes of this strange assumption of thinking that there's meaning in this pointing to some, up
Yes.
or down.
Yes.
And there's a lot of attachment to that.
Yes.
Yes. And there's fear that can come up sometimes when that. There can be fear in that, and a lot of freedom when that hits of just the strange. I don't want to say stupidity, but it comes up like it's like cave painting. It's like where does this come from? Can I go back to the orange one very quickly? Yeah. And there's something. Like I noticed this morning, 2 times actually recently. I'm in my room alone, and I sneeze, and it comes. Excuse me. where does this come from? Why is this being said? And just that was just kind of this automatic relying on things, and the sense of 2 + 2 = 4. Absolutely, I'm not picturing 2 oranges and then putting next to 2 and saying, what is that? It's a sense of a knowing that I'm both assuming that I have, but I'm also like, I don't know exactly, but it's like a canvas of knowing that I'm somehow feel that I'm enveloped in, like, and there's the claiming of it to a certain extent. I don't know if this, there's a claiming of that, and it's like if a teacher is drawing 2 + 2 on a blackboard, but what if this screen is like the blackboard, but it's an assumption that it's there. I don't know, actually. That's as far as I can go in this moment. Yeah.
Yes. You will be confronted with all your emotions, is it? Because the thing is that at least those who've been in satsang for some time are now stuck, because you feel like there must be something to what I'm saying. So you're stuck in that way, And yet, everything that you know is in opposition to this. Everything that you know is in opposition to this. Like, how can he climb up 4 flights of stairs and come down 30 feet? It's not a word play actually, it's not a trick question. So the intellect will try to, maybe he started at minus 60 or something, it'll start with this kind of thing. But it's not that.
It's almost like it's not even possible or not possible, it's just like
It's not even possible or not possible.
it's not even okay, and it's just
Yeah, it's not possible or not possible. Why? Because
it's like an assumption of a knowledge that this is right.
it's like an assumption of a knowledge that this is right. All knowledge is assumed in that way that this is right, isn't it? We don't hold any belief thinking that this is wrong. We always hold a belief thinking that it is right.
It's almost like it's like in some other.
You
It's,
feel
it's
like
all an
it's
assumption. Like if I speak like if in some other planet, it could just be wrong, or but even an assumption that there's another. Like it's just if you start seeing this, you feel like just like you said, you don't even know what is up and down. Truly, like when you said about the stairs, then you actually assume, or like of that koan, whatever. Like you assume that you know what is in and out and what is stuck and what. It's totally everything is an assumption that. So much we have assumed, and it could just be, I can't even say right or wrong anymore about anything.
all our ideas of right and wrong, good and bad, up and down, time and space, cause and effect, do they apply to the reality of you? And if they don't apply to the reality of you, to whom, for whom do they actually apply? Who is in time? Who is in space? For whom is there a past? For whom will there be a future? For whom is there even being and not being? For whom is there a self? Who is aware of awareness? And if all of these things don't mean anything to the reality of you, how is it that they seem to bind us? Who is even bound or free? Who is doing or not doing? What does any of this actually mean? And what do you really know? What is beyond the ideas of duality and non-duality? What is beyond one or many, same or different, true or false? What makes truth true? This is the same as to know one thing is to know too much. What do you know when you know nothing? So the thing is that you know what's coming. But even to know that this is the same as is to know too much. I'm sorry, my dear. I'm laughing, but I know that sometimes it can be very frustrating. You see what I'm saying? Like you say, brings up great resistance from the mind. It is fighting hard. I understand, my dear. It will fight because we're changing the field a little bit. You see, we are going from things like grievances and resentment, guilt, unworthiness, to even more fundamental notions like time, like space. And it is not really progressive in a sense, it is more quantum, it is more exponential in a way. Because fundamentally we are not here in Satsang to become better people, you see, or better anything at all. We're here to, in a sense, if we can say something, we're here to see that which is so fundamentally undeniable that we have to look at how everything else is deniable. We have to look through the facade that everything else seems to hold, including what we think we know about time, space, my life, experience, perception, all of these things. The question, Father, when I am in my apartment and I can't perceive the forest, I still assume it exists. Yes, it is an assumption. You see. But so is everything else that you have said. When I am in my apartment is also an assumption. Like, where are you? Like, we can presume, and it's okay conversationally. I'm not expecting anyone to speak like this when you are going to a restaurant. See, truly, but satsang is the space where we are allowed to go beyond our mental boundaries, isn't it? So, it's not an unfair question if I was to ask you, so where are you? Where will you go for this answer? Is it? You can look to the senses. Are you on that side of the senses? You see? Then you can say, okay, no, I must be on this side. So on this side there seems to be a head, a body. So if you cut up this body, will you find atoms and molecules of you? Because this body presumably contains these flesh and blood atom molecules. So if you're not on this side, where are you actually? So just because there is a visual perspective, there is a sensory perspective, does it make the perspective true just because it is there? And do I then become an object contained within this stream of stimuli, this stream of objects? Do I just presume myself to be an object without investigation? And every time I do investigate, I find no objectivity about myself. Although I don't even find any separation between any object and myself. So just because the perception of a room is here, just because the perception of a body is here, does it mean that I'm contained in them? Just as a presumption, is that valid? The mind will resist all of this. It will say this is going too far. This is going too far. Now he's really going too far. But what did you pray? What did you promise? You said, I want to go all the way, all the way.
Into light so much that we have assumed that we know so much. Even as I speak these words, like I feel like I know, but I truly I don't know if it makes sense. And this play of knowing something is infinite in a way, you know. You can always make 2 + 2 10 and say it's right. Like, oh my God. We have termed this thing as a body, you know, and like it's been coming very often, like, is how is this my body and not
Yes.
that my body?
Yes.
Even though something is getting clearer that everything is my body,
Yes.
but there's still like this looking to see how
But
is
even
it.
in this, don't
Yeah.
start with the end in mind.
Yes.
Because many times it can be because we've heard the greatest pointings in Advaita in a way, and we can feel like the end goal is to discover that
Yes.
everything is my body. So, but we don't even know that, right? We don't know how that was meant.
Mm-mm.
See? Because if we have an idea of how that was meant, then it will seem to define our exploration in that way,
Yes.
and confine our exploration in that way. So even what we hear in satsang at best can be like a prodding, it can be an invitation, but it cannot be taken to be an expression of that which is inexpressible ultimately.
Yes.
So,
Feels like
There is really no possibility or impossibility.
there is really no possibility or
Or impossibility. And then the mind obviously, then wants to be like, oh, so then silence is the answer. And then like here, the physic, even though just this sheer seeing that so much comes up as you like in a way see, is it really valid, like orange, or is it really whatever, the concept that must be playing. And then the more in a way you're just speechless in a way. But then this wanting to take position of not to say it
Yes.
outwardly, but inwardly it's coming up with so many other stuff which
like one of the strongest positions we can take, which is as egoic as any other position, is that, oh, then I must just be silent. You see, because then what are you making yourself out to be then? Just the same bundle of flesh and blood. It must be silent. Because the world has not got silent. The waking state still comes and it dances about. So then, therefore, best that I just keep quiet. Then we are again referring and re-referring to ourselves as this individual separate.
and it seems like what really is silence then?
Yeah.
Like so this is where it is now.
Really? Even that we cannot say.
No, like
Yeah, I know what you mean. This is where, what is our life consciousness? This is what you mean. But even that we can't really conclusively say.
no.
She says, yes, all the way, but not this way. Very good. Although it's a very simple statement, it contains a lot. Really, this idea of it has to be my way. Or I saw Ananta. He sat in front of his master's chair, Guruji's chair, and there's something happening. You see? On the hot seat, and there's something. It should have been that way. Now, what is his orange business? How to break this mental bond with the physical body as I. Yes. In your one moment of motionlessness, it is broken. All that is false relies on a concept. And why this sort of satsang can be a struggle for many of us is because there is nothing that you can actually grasp at. And we are used to learning by grasping in this way. You see? Now you're getting used to something which is, in a way, the product of your letting go and not grasping. All that you hold true, all that you think is valid, is being put into question. At all the various seeming layers of your existence, this apparent world, at the level of your imagination, at your thoughts, at your emotions, at your intellect. You see? And all of these layers we have interpreted and made ourselves believe that we are this entity called the ego. So as all our beliefs, all our knowledge, seeming knowledge about each of these layers is being punctured, where will the ego stand? And the good news is that even if it feels like you haven't gone all the way, or it's not clear, even these are just ideas, of course, but at least there is very little room here to pick up any nonsense ideas which might be posing as it is all the way. See, we might have an idea of all the way, but that idea is never all the way. It is still my way. Like why can we not say, I woke up this morning and it was yesterday?
You said, okay, that why did I wake up in the morning and I can't say it's yesterday? Where is this thought coming? Like, there's nothing such as the mind, or there's nothing such as memory inside. So,
Yeah.
where is this actually coming? Where is this memory? When there you can't find, like, it's almost like even that you don't have. Where is it? What is this?
So this is worthy contemplation, you see, because we use terms mind, memory, body, world, consciousness, intellect, self, awareness, being, I amness. But all of these are just terms. And all distinctions start to dissolve. No term actually implies anything at all. So ultimately what is, in a sense, Advaita, that there are no two, implying that there are no distinctions. So therefore these terms are divested of whatever idea of reality we have given to them. And I completely realize that some of these are now sacred terms for us. We feel like, but this term cannot be questioned now, because all our investment in satsang has been on these terms. But if we are going to get to the heart, the core of Advaita, of core of Vedanta. It must be independent of any idea, any notion that we have. Whether these are notions in space, whether they're in time, whether they're just conceptual. So, you're absolutely right. What makes memory memory and this not memory? Is it? What makes memory memory and this not memory? All our notions, all of our labels are pointless. I used to hear all the way as though there is somewhere to reach. Now I like to hear it more as all the way, each and every moment I see truth over ideas. As long as there is a way, I choose truth along the way. I sent to her also this video that I enjoyed very much. I was watching it the other day. I was speaking about it yesterday also. This is young Dogen Senji. He's just got into his monastery and he has a conversation with his cook. He's entering the kitchen and the cook says, "Truth is," and then Dogen gets excited, "Oh, I'm going to hear the truth." You see? And like, "The truth is?" And the cook says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the cook says, "True practice is something. True practice is, oh, Buddha nature is always apparent. Nothing is ever concealed." Beautiful, like 1 minute. It was a beautiful 1 minute. Father, I have heard it being said that what comes and goes is not real or true. I say not real usually. Isn't that also an assumption? Yes. There are some assumptions which are atomic to most other assumptions. So those are the assumptions being shared in Satsang. You see? So if you take that assumption to be true for a while, then it destroys a lot of other assumptions that we have. And then the master will make sure that even this assumption is not left. And Guruji uses this very simple term. He says we come to a wordless spirituality. So it is not just wordless, that means no words are coming from the mouth. It is just so wordless that words can actually express it. Father, like when you stretch us like this, mother with dementia is a satsang also. She is always in different states of unreality or reality, only which are not true to me. But since they are real to her, they are acknowledged as sort of real. So it's all into question. And just have to stay here now with what is beautiful. Yes. Like no scientist or doctor, at least as far as I know, has been able to truly define what this is. Like we call it dementia. Like even my mother at some point in her life was diagnosed with some horrible sounding disease. But who is to say that our perspective of reality is real and theirs is not? Anno says, thank you, Father, my mind is trying to be too clever these days. It's very good to notice, very good to notice. Bhakti is the Mata of Gyan, Bhagwan. Yeah. Gyanis can say this. Again, I want to end today with a sense of gratitude that I want to express towards all of you. Because I know that some of these things, and I'm questioning everything, I want to also make a promise to you that it is not just lip service. It is here that these things are questioned. And it is the same reflection which I am presenting to you. Because we can keep hearing things about coming to our notionless existence. But as we dive into the depth of this notionless existence, we see there are rampant notions which we give so much reality to. But they are nothing but perspectives. They are nothing but our version of what we think truth is. So I'm amazed, astounded, and in deep gratitude to all of your openness to really look at these things. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Jai. Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.